Hello everybody, welcome to our presentation of presenting Shakespeare in film.
So first of all, some of the main challenges of filming Shakespeare films are: one, transferring from melodrama to naturalism, because before language used to be used in a medieval English language, which meant that when translating it into films, people would be it's a lot harder because the language is more complex, and you have to be more exaggerated, and changing it to more naturalism is harder. 3 examples of this is West Side Story, which is a translation of Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, which is kept to the original story but is changed into like more of a naturalistic way, and The Things I Hate About You, which is based on the Taming Shrew.
3 examples of the challenges of what we've learnt on presenting Shakespeare to a younger audience is: one challenge is keeping their attention. Children have very short attention spans, and keeping their attention is key for a Shakespeare film. They easily get distracted, and they could even find these films quite unamusing, boring. So colours and props and use of movements could maybe improve that. Visuals. Younger people appreciate the visuals within film, and so the colour and interest in props again. But also simplifying the language, so maybe translating the language into a more modernised script, so the children can understand it, because Shakespeare Old English is quite complex. Thanks.
3 acting techniques that we have learned. One is using emotional memory, because when you're acting Shakespeare, it's good to try and relate to yourself, to the character the best you can. Another one is using emotive forces, which means you can realise what your characters are intentions, and their what the decisions they make and why they do it. And then the 3 circles of attention, so you can realise who your character is speaking to and why they'd be speaking to them. So all of these link into creating a better Shakespeare character.
So a couple of cinematic and editing techniques that could make a Shakespeare film more interesting is: one, an establishing shot. Establishing your scene and showing where your scene is going to be is key to opening up. It adds more to the context of the actual film, but also shows the audience of where it is. In Shakespeare plays, location is quite important. Sound and music. The type of music and sound can emphasize emotion within the scene, and that's quite key. So also camera close-ups. Camera close-ups is very important, especially when you have a single character speaking as monologue. So using the different variations of close-ups can really impact your film and make it improve and better. Next slide, please. A couple of reasons of why it's important to keep Shakespearean English into a film is keeping authenticity. The language that Shakespeare wrote is the original language, and he wanted to communicate in that way. So keeping that authenticity and keeping the historical language is important, because you keep into a true Shakespeare film. History. It's good historical knowledge to the audience. Giving that good historical knowledge to the audience, because the plays are normally based on around the 1500s or even earlier. So it's good to, good history. And the last pro, so translation can often be missed and misinterpreted. Like a language. So if you create a new script, one, it costs money, but also it can be misinterpreted. It can lose the actual meaning and context within the actual script. And a couple cons are Old English. The Old English within Shakespeare plays are too complex and easily misunderstood, and audience don't really understand it. Challenges with transferring play to film. So Shakespeare was were originally for stages and theatres. So it would be a lot more trickier to add that to a film.
So next, after watching the modern version of Macbeth, we looked at a couple shots, which were the establishing shot, which uses a good setting the scene, and then over the shoulder, which it creates a tense kind of close-up atmosphere. And the close-up shot is also quite scary because it's one of the witches. And then that's the same with single shot, dirty triple shot, and the crowd shot. That's very overwhelming because it's a lot of people. And then we have a link here, which was a good production moment that we thought was good in the movie. Oh, wait.
Oh, the link? Oh.
Yeah.
You've got to make loud and do it.
Copy and paste it, I think. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
So yeah, I thought this shot was really good because it actually set the scene of the battle, and it made it more tense and you could actually see the facial expressions of the characters while they were going into battle. So that's why I like that production moment. So then we were talking about how we've used voice techniques and movement techniques to help us create our Shakespeare 30-second practical project, and I thought that voice techniques such as breath and projection were really useful because learning how to slow myself down while using breath and using breath to create more emotions, if I have more of a sigh, that could make me seem more lonely or jealous or something like that, and projection to show if I'm angry, so
with the movement techniques, one thing that's really key for what I've learnt is inner emotive forces. Inner emotive forces has really helped me to find the actual meaning within what my characters, so the motives, the emotions, where the play is set. And it's really helped me within my acting and how I present my performance. Thank you for your time.
thank you.